Hello, hello, welcome in everybody. We are here for another game in round 2. We have our number 2 seeded team here. Winthrop University on the blue side facing off against Misfits, the underdogs, the ultimate upsetters of the bracket, having toppled the number 1 seed in round 1 of Swiss for our Open Qualifiers 2. And you might see a lot of names that you can't read. I'll do my best to make sure that I am saying their names throughout the broadcast. I'll even do so now just so you all know. We have for Winthrop, Denathor in the top lane, Wocao or Trickster as their jungler, Sword, mid lane, Mobility as the ADC, and Chookies as the support. And then the one that actually is going to be confusing is Misfits, as it is going to be Cozy or Cozy Shroud on top lane playing Gnar. We got Baekho, or I'm Baekho, playing Sejuani. Ahano. Oh, wait, hold on. Ahano right there. And a little bit of damage onto both Sword and Wocao. That is also Dillon. You might know them better as Dillon. And we have Aphelios here. That is Selfish. You go by the name Selfish usually. And Melio, the support, is Dal Byul. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. It's D-A-L space B-Y-U-L. So hopefully I got their name right. Just kind of go through everything so you all know who is who. We'll see if Misfits can pull off a miracle 2 times in a row. Taking down the number 1 seed. That is an amazing feat, especially for a team like Misfits who have quite the journey on how they even got here to the Open Qualifiers in the first place. A lot of players such as Cozy Shroud and Baekho are well known within the scene, having taken off last year from competitive. But these are 2 players that had been making waves during their time that they were striving to get to challengers in the first place. And a lot of people had pegged them as top contenders for being in challengers one day. Then they took a break, had a bit of a rough year in 2022. So now back in the competitive atmosphere. It almost wasn't going to be them here playing in Open Qualifiers 2 because there was the voting rounds that they were a part of, and if it hadn't been for 2 teams dropping out, Misfits actually wouldn't be here in the first place. So it's a fun little story with them. That is why I'm excited to see these players, and I'm hoping great things for them. But that also is a bit tragic because these are really fantastic players, and being the 32-seeded team means no matter what, however they do, they'll have to face off against the best team in whatever bracket they find themselves on. So here in the 1-0, they have to face against the number 2 seed since they already beat the number 1 seed. Say they win this one, then there's the number 3 seed if they're there, etc., etc. Just makes it really rough for them. I think the only exception is if they've already faced a team. Don't hold me to that though. Don't know the rules on that. So say they lose here, Blue Otters win their game against Pick Me Galio, which I have already casted. You can actually check out on the channel. So we already know that Blue Otters beats Pick Me Galio pretty convincingly as well. But I believe that if Misfits lose this, they do not face off against Blue Otters no matter what. That'd be the only exception. Ooh, but a good bubble there. Honest Selfish taking a lot of damage from both Mobility and Chookies. These are 2 that a lot of people have talked about as being one of the strongest aspects of Winthrop. Of course, Denathor, I think, is the premier top laner. Him and Crimson are the ones I'm really looking at, which is also why it's exciting for me to see Denathor face off against Cozy, because Cozy in the past had been that top laner. He had been the conversation starter for so many people. In fact, Cozy Shroud, the name, his alias that he goes by, comes from the fact that he used to be in a Kali 1 trick. Obviously has expanded since then. But with the changes of the top lane and the meta, Kali top lane just hasn't really been a thing for quite some time, which means that Cozy has had to expand the repertoire of top lane picks that they have been able to play. But Denathor has felt right at home with the current meta. More of the Bruisers, Olafs, Aatrox, hell, even Cassante fits in that mold because Cassante is an all-in-one kind of character, which, if you don't know my thoughts on Tank Azir, I always hate when a champion can be super tanky and also deal a lot of damage. No fun then. That's how K'Sante essentially is. Super tanky and deals a lot of damage. Getting K'Sante'd. Baekho, at least getting a good shove against Denathor. Trying to tank control. And normally with these early games, I always kind of hate when they're really boring like this. I want more action. But this has been great. It's kind of let me talk a little bit more about the storylines of these players and the history that they have. So hopefully you can learn a bit about them and why I'm so excited to see a team like Misfits. I just wish that they didn't have the curse here of being 32. Now destined to face off against every top team in whatever bracket they are in. The things that have happened on the map. Look, there's a good CS lead here for Mobility and Chookies. I kind of talked about how the bot lane was something that a lot of people were talking about with Winthrop. Then I did this whole tirade, this whole tangent on Denathor in the top lane. But Mobility and Chookies. Mobility is a player that a lot of people saw briefly when he was stepping in as a sub for Evil Genius's Academy during the Academy season before he became Challengers. And he didn't look all too great there. So people only really remember him from that time during EG, which I don't think is fair because this is a player that had to step in to a roster that he wasn't comfortable with, that didn't know very well, onto a scene that he just wasn't quite prepared for. Now that he's gotten more time, more practice here with the team that he is comfortable with in Winthrop, you've seen how him and Chookies have been really strong in the bot lane. They've gotten a lot of wins for Winthrop. So not only is it really the Denathor show that some people like to talk about, but Mobility is definitely somebody I think that has been doing a lot to break that idea that everyone had gotten from his time in Academy. And I'm really excited about his future, the future that Mobility continues to display here in Collegiate. Of course, just having one or two good seasons isn't enough, sadly, especially when it comes to Collegiate. You gotta have multiple of them. I have faith in Mobility. And at the moment, we're seeing that faith really coming to fruition. There isn't the Lucian Melio lane that has been dominating for quite some time. So I had imagined draft probably was the Lucian first pick, and then Melio taking on the other side. But the thing is, you have a Nami like that. Look how much damage they're able to get. The Lucian Nami comp that people always, they just forget about. Like, yeah, Melio, Lucian, that's the flavor of the month. But when Nami got the changes to make it so that her E, is it her E? Let me check. Yeah, her E gives damage not just for auto attacks, but also for her spells. It made Lucian and her such a insane combination. Just the burst damage that you can get. You already got good burst out of Lucian beforehand, but then add to that, Selfish and Dal Byul are now struggling in this lane. And they're going to consistently struggle because every time Mobility is going to say, hey, you step up, wrong guns, not red, white, let's fight. I'm going to get a lot of damage onto you. And that is exactly what just happened to Selfish. So Mobility and Chookies hitting up some honey fruits, getting these leads. You see mid lane. Oh, wait a minute. What just happened there? Let's go back here. That was accidentally not on directed camera. So let's take a look at what happens here. Nice seismic shove from Dillon on a sword, but it is still Rise that you have to fear. Look how he steps up. Doesn't get the root from the rune prison, but the flash from Dillon did not get over the Q, so he almost died because of it. Now we go into the bot lane. Tidal wave flashed away. Selfish trying to survive. Breath of life of the cleanse on the other side by Mobility. Nobody will fall. The shields are enough. Trades across the map. Little skirmishes here and there with everyone surviving, but a lot of summoners blown across the rift. Does give windows now to these junglers who have been power farming. Wocao has been working towards getting cease and desist, now having that available. Even looking at Baekho. Wait a minute, sword. Hello? You're underneath the turret, my friend. Taking a couple pebbles to the face, trying to heal up with the minions, throwing out these Qs, not even getting tagged, but the seismic shove! What a play from Dillon! We got to take a look at that replay because look at this. Sword goes underneath the turret here. We're gonna watch it from Sword's point of view for a bit here. He knows Dillon's staying in the lane. It's like, okay, but he doesn't have the minions. And that's the thing that bothers me. Nice Weaver's Wall away from Dillon, Takes a couple of those pebbles to the face, tries to heal up with the help of the minions, throwing out these Qs. Oh my goodness, I'd be a little tilted from that one. The hitbox does not look like it should have landed there from Dillon. But sword does fall. First blood picked up Mahano. Dillon is what their name is in the doc that I have that they submitted. So I'm going to call him Dillon. Just makes it a lot easier for me. That's first blood for Talia. Especially in a matchup where they were struggling. Sword was doing a good job. I just think that Realm Warp was a little iffy. Didn't need to take that. Could have easily stood back and been perfectly fine. Already forced out Mahano. And now you're coming back into lane, and you're not the one that has the advantage. It's going to be the item advantage. The Archangel Staff already completed out of Dillon, while you're still working towards that Roa. Bot lane, another trade. But this time I think it's more impactful, the fact that there was a good trade here in the mid lane, looking for both Baekho and Dillon, because the Void Grubs are up. And this actually could be impactful. 4 are now picked up by the side of Misfits. They try to go for the fight. They gotta be careful. Mega Gnar, wall, and they're going into the wall. They pick up the kill on Wocao. The Denathor dashing in, getting a lot of damage. Everyone's still alive, and look at Sword. Free hitting with all these minions helping him out. As the bubble connected to the bot lane. Wombo combo to get the kill for mobility. And all the while, Denathor still looking for the chase with the seismic shove back onto him. Gotta be careful of the hyper stacks, but so much more damage coming in from Sword. But Sword taking so much from the Grubs themselves. With how low they've gotten cozy. He's playing with fire, but so is Baekho. All of them nearly next to death. But everyone will finally retreat from the play. Across the map, it was a 1-for-1. The bot lane for Winthrop saving the play. Same with Denathor and Sword. The fact that they were able to deny more of the Void Grubs, but we got to go into the bot lane. Oh, fatal flash from mobility. Unfortunate there. I cast a curse them on that one. Flash over the wall. Chookies will survive. The play was having been saved by the bot lane of Winthrop. Unfortunately now, tossed back over to Misfits. As even though Wocao is back onto the Void Grubs, it was 4 picked up, so the Might will be spawned by Misfits. The fact they know that they already, not just the fact that they got the kill on the mobility, so they know he's not there, obviously. But they also know that Wocao was on the Void Grubs. They got the notification. They're like, hey, we can get a dragon. It'll be our first of the game. Slows down any dragon stacking here of Winthrop University. And this number 32 seeded team. That's why it's so unlucky that this is the team that gets put as number 32, because look at how they're playing around the map. This is a team that is well above the pay grade of being the bottom seed. How they play around the map, the plays that they look for, the trades they're willing to find. The only problem is that they still have to deal with mobility. Getting that kill on them, great start. But look at the CS differential between them. He still gets that kind of damage on a Selfish. Selfish just dies instantly. Realm Warp on the other side. Melio 2 engaged. They don't even really need it. Mobility can get a double kill right underneath the turret. Yeah, I got a little tongue-tied there. Sorry about that. Now we look at Wocao. Getting found out by Baekho. Dillon as well, getting a lot of damage, but they gotta be careful. The flash coming in. And now cease and desist. They have the alley-oop scoop, bouncing him around like a bouncy castle, and Wocao surviving the whole time for mobility to rotate up so they can pick up 2 kills. And where things were looking like they were going so well for Misfits, now crumbling under the weight of these CS differentials, the gold, the items that have been picked up, and the movements, coordination that you have as a team like Winthrop University that have been playing together for quite some time. That is unfortunately going to be the thing that I think will make or break this. The disparity in how long these teams have worked together for. Well, yes, some of the players like Cozy Shroud and I'm Baekho have been playing together a long time. Not as a team here with Misfits, with Dillon, with Selfish, with Dal Byul. Not like that of Winthrop. We played all of last year together. A lot of these players have been on similar teams in the past, whether that be an amateur or collegiate itself. You can see that even when they're in a rough spot, find it hard to find positions. But they know how to rotate around the map really quickly. The execution they go for these plays have now put them firmly in control of this game. Netting a 2,000 gold lead. Now getting that Rift Herald. Making sure they can prioritize a lot of these lanes. Just slowly suffocate Misfits. When I look at Misfits' composition too, there's a lot of pick. A lot of it will revolve around playing towards Selfish. Selfish got to be selfish in this game. Got the Aphelios. It's all about the red, white, let's fight. Especially when you have something like the Sejuani where, now that I think about it, Sejuani's a little iffy on the pick because nothing could really synergize with her permafrost outside of Meganar. But you're trying to, if you're trying to work with someone, yes, the ult doesn't matter. But something about Sejuani that has kind of changed is a lot of players, oh, those selfish, just getting caught out like this. That's rough. That's rough. And as I was saying, the player being selfish that they want to play around, getting caught out so simply. Not looking good for Misfits. And it continues to show the map awareness for Winthrop University. Get your Throps out here. Because I think this is where we're mid-game into the game. A lot of these power spikes do start coming online for Misfits themselves. And when you're behind then, as that team that starts getting these item spikes, especially for something like Gnar. Even though Gnar can get 2 items, Sejuani can get 2 items. Talia, Felius are also going to be great on 2 items. Then you can look at the other side. Cassante just needs 1 item, and he's already late game. Sword, 2 items, very important for this rise. Normally you think Lucian just going to be a lane bully and get 1 item spike, and he's going to be great, but add in a Nami, go for the crit build, and you're golden. You're actually really good at these mid-game fights as well. And when you have a lead, gonna be difficult. I'm looking at Misfits and what they can do. It's still the pick that they can look for, especially out of Baekho. Watching this Sejuani and where they're gonna play around her, especially because Wocao still has that eye of the Rift Herald. I wanna see him pop it mid lane. Dragon is spawning here in a few seconds. Yes, there's going to be the dragon stacking in this game. Just having that identity, and this is something that we've seen as a kind of clinical play. While we are attempting the pick in the top lane onto Sword, missing the Glacial Prison, getting the root, it's so difficult to actually kill Sword, and how much do they just commit for that play and get nothing out of it? That means the Rift Herald spawn here in mid lane. There's going to be Chookies riding that into battle to charge, and they get this dragon all for 1. So it's getting run around a little bit on this game. Individually, their skills were showcased in the lane phase. Now we're getting towards the point where you rotate around the map. The Coon squad setup just didn't work out for Misfits. And not landing that play, it had to work on a Sword because it was a high risk, in my opinion, low reward play. You kill Sword, and then what? You hit the turret top lane, but then you lose the turret mid lane, you lose the dragon as well. Yes, it's not going to be a dragon stacking game, but still. Neutral objectives continue to go and funnel your opponent. I think Misfits kind of realizing the mistake of that play as well. Probably going to play a little bit softer, a little bit slower. But I honestly don't like that. When you have a composition that needs to find a lot of these picks, you have to play fast and loose. And it's not about the high risk, it's about the high risk, high reward, not the high risk, low reward plays. So getting a pick on a Sword is going to be good now, when there's nothing really to play on, honestly, because you can stop this play, you can make sure you gain control over this turret, as you can see how fast Sword was able to clear out the minions, and now with the TP, and how difficult it actually was to kill Sword, he survived the whole time. 5 members against the 4 here, as they got the rotation, not 4-3, what am I talking about? The Denathor actually still finds the kill on the other side. 2 for 1, and traded for the mid lane turret. Ugh, not the best cast on my part. Sorry about that. Whoa, wait a minute. Dillon, cease and desist, just dies underneath the turret right as he TP'd in the mid lane trying to save that. So it ends up being a 2-for-2 trade. Misfits not given the respect to the damage that can be done by members like Mobility and Wocao. Then also Denathor making so that it was a 1-2 trade. Ultimately makes this play work out for Winthrop. Winthrop, again, find more out of these plays. These high risk, low reward for Misfits. Now, Misfits will find themselves 4,000 gold behind, 20 minutes into the game. And strangely, a fairly good Baron take for Winthrop. People always got to forget Fry's. Once he has these two items, how fast he can fling out these spells. How quickly he actually can take down things like Baron and Dragon alongside having mobility on Lucian. You could do the same thing. Wow, even red-white fight. Selfish took a lot of damage there from mobility. So now, bad gun setup, having to use the guns to heal up a little bit. Well, see, Winthrop slowly push their lead around this Baron, but the problem is going to be that Denathor does not have that TP. Had used it to try to save Sword's life, as all 5 were committed beforehand by Misfits for the dive. Sorry, I'm still sick. So, you're wondering why the cast doesn't sound as good. You do know why. I apologize. Misfits now find themselves in a bad spot. Oh, Dal Byul flash away, but rooted in place. And Chookies getting the kill credit for that one. He even put the Weavers while trying to save the life, or at least make it so they could turn around and get a return kill. There's just nothing left there. And now, Dillon, Baekho, you're way too far out. Realm Warp on the other side with the bubble landing on a Dillon. Pop goes the bubble. Misfits collapsing to the weight of drops out. Now we're pinging onto that Baron. Baekho healing down towards the bottom half of the map. Maybe. No, there's not even going to be the Dragon to play. It's still a minute away. And as I said, it's early into the game with how the preseason has been. Normally, these Baron takes are really slow. But mobility is actually going to do a lot of work to it. So even if it's not super fast, if they had had a sword here, this would have been gone already. But they know there's no real pressure. Even seen, they saw the ping. They already saw that Baekho was rotating down towards the bottom side to try to support Cozy on the split push. So Baron secured. Winthrop pretty much one fight away from winning this game. It might sound premature for me to say, but you win convincingly one fight, even 2-4 trade, then you're winning the game off that. With this Dragon spawning up, soul point potential on the line, they're chasing away the members of Misfits. Bolt Breaker used just to scare off, especially the bot lane. As I had called out before, Selfish is going to be the win condition. If Selfish can survive, despite only having an item and a half, oh, wow, you are that far behind mobility. That is rough. As the person that needs to be the carry for the team, you're that far behind. I am very worried for Misfits. I don't know how I didn't notice that earlier. That is a large disparity. How much gold are you sitting on? Not even, oh, you're not even close. 3,000 gold separates the two ADCs, and it's only going to continue to get worse. And so here goes another turret. TP bot lane to deny. Following turret. Denathor shows him into the bot lane. Dillon will get out of there, getting rid of the control ward as well, so no TP backdoors here. And the Dragon secured. No contest for Misfits. Their whole pick comp doesn't work when the only ones that you could really look to pick are Denathor and Sword, because mobility always has an escort crew. And then you're not killing Sword or Denathor. 2 items strong. Finally, they got that second item. Now for Selfish, the Infinity Edge. It's going to be good, but it feels so late. And now Baekho caught out like this. Everyone just got caught out in your jungle. You're the pick comp. You're the ones that are supposed to be finding the plays. As Moonlight Vigil does tag, barely doing any damage to Wocao. Boomerang thrown out. Cozy scaring away. I think, yeah, that was only the flash burned. Calling and cease and desist gone. Traded for the 2 ults on the other side, the Glacial Prison and Moonlight Vigil. But that play costs nothing for Winthrop. It costs a lot more for Misfits as they continue to lose more soil, more ground in their jungle. They're trying to find a play here on a Denathor, but look at this. Level 16, all out, does not drag over Baekho. Instead has to fall back, but it is A-okay. They already got the TP in with the seismic shove, but look at Sword. What a flank on the other side looking for Selfish. Not tagged just yet. Has to be careful. Has that flash available to get over the wall, but the soccer ball making sure that he's not going anywhere because they got the kill on Baekho. And all the while, Cozy on top of Mobility, who flashed away, flashes in. They got Nara underneath the turret, but Wocao had to get out of there. Low health bars. Tidal Wave connects, gets the flash out of Selfish. The burst down. Chookies gets the kill credit, but they did lose Wocao. 1-for-2 trade. Dillon could look to hunt them down if they wanted to, especially with the low health bars, but it seems they'll only have the 1-for-2. Not quite the ending fight just yet for Winthrop to finish off this game. They are getting close, though. Like I said, it needs to be more of a 2-for-4, because that really will end the game. But it was a close skirmish. And you can see, you know, the glimpses of glamour and glory for Misfits throughout these fights, despite being behind. Still finding great ways to engage, disengage, fights that should be devastating. That would be devastating to a less experienced team. But Winthrop haven't been a favorite team for no reason. They were the #1 seed in the Open Qualifiers 1 for a reason. They were favorited to take that entire Open Qualifiers. They did get upset in the Swiss and then upset the bracket stage. Now they're here for revenge. Here to show everyone why this collegiate program has been touted as one of the strongest alongside that of Maryville for quite some time. Of course, hard to deny Maryville being the strongest as they are doing great in Challengers League right now. Especially bringing in Spyrex and UG. 2 players that I've touted as being insanely talented players for a long time. It was sad that no team seemed to want to pick them up. But they're really showing off that everyone made the wrong decision by not picking them up. But we're focused on this game as Denathor getting a good demolish proc. Cozy still chasing this one down, but the bubble connects. Nobody wants that follow up just yet because Sword was on the other side, still pushing. 4-1 for Winthrop. Got themselves a 4-1. Sorry, like I said, I'm still sick, so. Sometimes just trying to breathe. Oh, bubble on Emilio. Dal Byul will be fine. They just wanted to reset. They wanted to spend some of the gold they have. Look at that, 2,000 still there for Sword before. Got a lot to spend. They're going to continue to make this worse. Full item separating the 2 mid laners. A full item separating the ADCs. Full item separating the top laners. And look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Selfish, you're so far behind. You can do nothing with the all-out use onto the tank, but they just have so much more. The rest of Winthrop scattering that of Misfits, and they are not done. Cease and desist onto Dillon. Dash in, rampage, and unstoppable for mobility. All the while, Dal Byul flashing away. The Cozy Campfire trying to help him out. But Chookies flashing for it. Chookies on a killing spree. When the support is on a killing spree, you know the game is done. But Winthrop are going to play this one cleanly. They'll take themselves this Baron. And themselves every objective. Not chancing a single thing. Paint by numbers, League of Legends. Something I stole from someone long ago. Chigua, if you're watching this one, shout out to you. But playing it simple. Playing it clean. Even buying some more items. Now 4 items there for mobility. Back to Sword have enough? Sword probably has enough for his 4th item as well. But instead, we'll stay on the Rift. Infernal Soul should be easily collected by Winthrop with no answer from Misfits. When you're 10,000, well, actually, yeah, 10,500 gold behind at 30 minutes into the game, you're hoping for a miracle is essentially what you're hoping for. You're hoping your opponent makes a mistake. You're not really... Unless you have a very strange composition, you're not really... The destiny's not really in your control here. You can punish mistakes, hope that your opponents are making them, but if they don't make the mistakes or the mistakes are minor, it's not really going to happen. Now they're opening up mid lane. Well, Sword, 1v2 mid, tagged by the Glacial Fissure. The Gnar all into the wall too, but the shield was helping him out a lot. Sword, flashing, still dies. But all the while, the team starting to open up the base. Inhibitor is going to be the first thing that they take down with the Nexus soon to fall. There's a Nexus turret, number 1. Not yet. There it is, taken down by the cannon. Calling used. Dillon forces shield as well as a breath of light, but that means that Dal Byul was put in the line of fire there for mobility. 4 strong still. Gets the 4 out of Misfits. The number 32 seeded team. Able to make a miracle happen once against the number 1 seed team. Taking down Blue Otter. But doesn't seem to be the case here against Winthrop. We're now 1 Nexus turret away from toppling this game over. A lot of damage there on a Selfish again from 1-in. With the minions starting to collapse. Cease and desist on a Selfish. And they execute there from mobility. Dillon goes golden. But it's only for his own inevitable death to Cassante. While mobility was kiting away for so long, does die to Gnar, but the team re-engages Denathor and Wocao. Looking for that ace, even though Selfish, who died at the beginning, is back up on his feet, and you're going to be back in the grave right away, my friend. Then Cozy will join you soon. An ace, 6 dead in the fight. As it was a triple kill for Wocao. Getting a little bit of a taunt there. And Winthrop moving forward 2-0 into round 3.